Hey guys, so welcome to another video. I'm excited about this one because if you don't know already, I have a part 1 to this video. I didn't label it part 1 because I didn't know there'd be a part 2, but I got some more questions asked and I am so excited to answer them. If you guys don't know and you're new to this channel, I'm Emily and I'm an OB/GYN sonographer. It's so amazing to say that now because in the last video I was registered in OB, but I was working in a hospital and working night shift. And now I'm actually where I have wanted to be from the beginning of college, which is an OB/GYN clinic, which I'm in love with. I love my job, love the people I'm with, so it is fantastic. I just wanted to come very casually. It's freezing downstairs always, doesn't matter what the heat is on, so I have a blanket. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I had several people to message me questions, so let's just hop into it. The first question I got was what made me choose sonography, and I think that I answered this in my first video maybe, but I'll go ahead and just give a really quick rundown. I honestly had no clue what I wanted to do when I was coming out of high school. Everybody had everything planned out and I didn't know what school I was going to. I didn't know what I was going to major in or anything. And I just started researching. I had my very first anatomy class in high school and totally fell in love with it and knew that I wanted to be involved somehow in the medical field. I didn't know if I wanted to go through nursing or physical therapy. I had physical therapy in my mind for a long time. I really wanted to do pediatric physical therapy, but where I am, the location I'm at, there's not really a need for that. So I wouldn't really get to work with peds a whole lot. So I loved all things OB, pediatric, baby, all things like that. So I started looking into all the different careers that kind of involved that. I found sonography, and probably just like you, I imagined that is the main portion of ultrasound would be OB and scanning babies all day. That was a huge shock that it's like actually a very small portion is OB. In the hospitals, I rarely did OB. I did mostly abdomens, and the most I did was in vascular. When I went through school, I realized like, wow, this includes a lot more. And I do still love that side of it, but it doesn't really compare to OB. OB is my ultimate favorite, but I chose it because for me, it was kind of like a step into the medical field. So I thought, and it was just 2 years. I loved the idea of being with people, meeting new people. Also, I thought it would be a lot more chill than it is. So a lot of the reasons that I went into the job kind of came as a shock whenever I realized it wasn't exactly how I thought it would be. But thankfully, I still love it. I still would not have changed a thing. So yeah. The reasons I went into sonography were a little blind, but I'm so glad that I did. And yeah, so it was mainly, I thought it would be like just a small step into the medical field and it would be low on the stress meter, but that wasn't the case. So yeah, that's kind of why I went into it. Things did change. I did realize it's not exactly what I thought it was, but thankfully I'm still absolutely in love with it. So yeah, my next question is, what is the hardest part of my job? This changes depending where you are, but since I got this job at the OB/GYN office, I'm gonna kind of like focus more geared toward my OB experience in my OB job rather than in the hospital. So the hardest part about my job now is probably responsibility. and the weight that's kind of put on you, because if you don't see it or you don't note it, the doctor won't know. And the thing about an OB clinic is I'm by myself during the day. It's just me and my patients, as far as like ultrasound techs anyways. In a hospital you have more than one usually, not always, but usually more than one on days. And here I'm completely by myself as far as ultrasound techs go. And so nobody else there really knows ultrasound, so I'm kind of by myself if I have a question or if I'm looking at something and then I'm like, I have no idea what this is. I can always go talk to the doctor. He's amazing. The doctor that I work for is an amazing doctor, but he's not always there. You know, he's got a lot of surgeries. He's very busy. His office is nonstop. Sometimes I'm on my own, which it grows you as an ultrasound tech for sure, to be on your own and to have to figure things out. But also it can be a little scary because if you see something that could potentially be life-threatening to the mom or the baby, and you don't have anybody to ask, it's a lot of, for me, praying. I'm like, God, you've got to give me wisdom, because I'm not sure what to do in this. It's a lot of calling up people you used to work with or people you used to go to school with and asking them, like, have you ever seen this before? I'm not sure what to do. Is this an emergency? So I think responsibility and the seriousness of OB, because as an ultrasound tech, you see a lot of things that could potentially be life-threatening to the baby. You're the first one to see if there's no heartbeat, and that's what the moms are always, that's the first thing they're waiting for, is to hear that heartbeat. And so it's just hard. It's a hard thing to be the first to know about all of this, and sometimes the only one to know about it. Of course, as soon as I see something that is questionable in any way, I always go to the doctor if he's there. Sometimes I'll go to the nurse practitioner or the PA, or if I have to, I will call up another ultrasound tech that I know and be like, I need help. Like, I need to know what to do. This looks wrong. It looks, you know, something's up. And another thing that I have learned is like the gut feeling. I have obtained the gut feeling, which is literally just Jesus for me. But just telling me like something is wrong. We're working with 2 lives rather than 1. So yeah. The next one is any tips on how to choose a program. And I think they meant a specialty, because they said such as OBGYN, vascular, abdomen, etc. So the best tip that I have for choosing a specialty is honestly, when you're going through your schooling, you'll kind of know, you'll know the first one that you want to get registered in, the first specialty that you'd like to get, just by doing it. And scanning it continuously, because you find out the things that you get sick of scanning, the things that you're just like, I don't want to deal with that. You'll find those out during school, and especially during clinicals, because in clinicals you're scanning for 40 hours a week, just like a normal job. But you probably scan more because you're the student and they want you to get experience. So every patient that walks through the door, you're scanning them. Whereas usually they'll take turns with coworkers, but when you're the student there, you get everything. So, which is great. I love that. I love that they give you that much experience. It's great. I figured I would want OB the whole time before I even went into the program, but I really do like abdomen. Vascular is not my favorite. But the thing that I noticed with OB was, like, when I was studying for my boards, it wasn't like, I gotta go study. Like, it's just different because you're interested in the subject. It doesn't feel like a chore to study for it. It's not hard to obtain the information. I had the desire to learn it, and it just sticks better. When you have the desire to learn something, it just sticks in your brain better. You don't have so much like memorization as you do like, oh, this just makes sense, How to choose a specialty, just see which one you're best at and the one that is the easiest for you to study because you just enjoy it. You enjoy learning about it, you enjoy scanning it, and it'll come super easy to you which one you want to choose. So the next question is, what have I learned from this job? I've learned a lot. I've only been there a little over a month, but I've learned a lot. Probably, I'll just say like one thing that I've learned. The biggest thing that I've learned is that it does not matter how long you've been in ultrasound at all. You are always learning. The girl that was there before me, she trained me. She's been there for 25 years, and there is still things that I'll ask a question and she'll be like, I'm not sure, like I have to ask the doctor, you know, we'll have to see what he says, or I don't know, I've never seen this before, you know. It's just like you are always learning, and you will forever be learning in ultrasound because we are seeing things inside the body, but we're not seeing it in color. We're seeing it in black and white. So it's a lot of critical thinking and coming together with a team and putting your knowledge together and talking with the doctor so that he can teach you things. That's the best thing, is to have a doctor that is like willing to teach you. I've definitely learned from this job that you're always learning and you'll never stop learning, because you just, you know, every day you get a new case, a new patient, so it keeps it very interesting. So yeah, you will always be learning in ultrasound. The last question, I'm trying to keep this one pretty short. I know my first video is pretty long, so I'm gonna try and keep this one a little shorter. Did I choose to settle at an OB office because of the schedule? And I would say that's not the only reason, but it is one reason. The schedule that I work now is incredible. You cannot beat this schedule, especially in a clinic. No holidays, no weekends. You know, it's a day shift thing. So to be honest, an OB/GYN clinic has been my goal from the beginning, because I love OB, even GYN. It's a little bit harder, but I'm learning to love GYN. But the schedule is amazing. You can get really close to the people that are in your office, so it's fun to just have that group of girls that just get close, and you learn so much in a clinic just because you are scanning the same thing over and over and over again, and you just learn things that are normal, things that are not normal, how to handle them. And for whenever Cameron and I decide to have our own kids, it's just helpful to know, like, to have all this information, and it's just a really good place to be if you're wanting to have kids, and you know, it's cool to have all this knowledge. So it's good and bad, actually. But yes, before this I was working night shift, which my body absolutely hated. I was so miserable. I would get nauseous in the mornings, like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I would get super nauseous. My head would be busting. I never knew when to eat, so I was always hungry. We were so busy, and I rarely got to see my husband, rarely got to do things with my family, because during the day you have to sleep. It's just awful. And I know that there are some people out there that love night shift, and we are so thankful for you. People like me are so thankful for people like you, because you guys rock night shift, and my body cannot do it. So yes, I would say a huge reason for going to an OB office was the schedule. It's amazing. I see my husband a lot more now. I'm a happier person because I'm on day shift. This has been like where I have dreamed of being, like, is where I'm at right now. And I'm just so thankful. I prayed and prayed for something like this, and the Lord is so faithful. So He gave me this job, and could not be happier where I'm at, and the people are amazing. I love my job. So thank you guys so much for watching, for asking questions, and I'm so excited that there are people that are genuinely curious about it. If you have any questions that you would like to ask that maybe I didn't answer today, you can always message me. I'd be more than happy to help you find a program or find a specialty or give you studying tips. Yeah, I'm so thankful that the Lord has me where He does. I do truly believe that I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to share all of this with you guys on this platform. And yeah, so thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.